Shalom. All right, first and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raka'ah Quadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning, and unto the Bayath Adobadah, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. Sunday evening camp, Lord willing to be edifying into the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. Okay. All right, that's going to be the book of Mark. It's going to be chapter 10. Starting at verse 28. In fact, excuse me for a second there. We'll start at verse 23. No, Salakia, verse 21. Mark 3 and 21. And it says, Then Yahweh Shai, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, One thing thou lackest. Go thy way, sell whatever thou hast. Sell whatever thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross, and follow me. Verse 22, And he was sad at that saying, and went away grieved, for he had great possessions. Okay? So, you know, when it comes to being in this truth, man, you have to give up. You know, not saying to give away all your possessions like right away, but, you know, our treasures are stored up in heaven, which means that we're willing to forsake everything that we have in this society to follow the ways of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Because these possessions that we have, yeah, they're comfort, they're materials that, give you comfort, provide you entertainment and all that, but it's not worth, it's not, how do I put this? It's nothing to be compared to what the Lord's going to bring and give you if you follow him. And it said that the man was grieved. He was sad at that saying, because he didn't want to give up he didn't want to give up his possessions. Verse 23, and Yahweh Shai looked round about and saith unto his disciples, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of heaven? Excuse me. So let me read that again. Verse 23, And Yahweh Shai looked round about and saith unto his disciples, How hardly shall they that have riches enter into the kingdom of heaven? Okay? Riches on this side is not going to get you to the kingdom, man. You know, you have to just let this shit go. I know I've been saying it multiple times in my camp lessons, but it's true, man. Just let this shit go. It don't mean nothing. It's all temporary. Verse 24, And the disciples were astonished at his words. But Yahweh Shai answereth again, and saith unto them, Children, how hard is it for them that trust in riches to enter into the kingdom of the Most High? It is easier. So, putting your faith and trust in riches, especially in this time, what good is all that money going to do you when it becomes useless? When all hell breaks loose, money isn't going to save you. Because people are just going to, at that point, they're just going to take what they want. Okay? And that's what it's coming to. You got people you got poor, homeless migrants that are starving, that are raiding the the marketplaces in New York for food, water. Okay? New York right now is a shithole. New York City. Verse 25. It says, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven." All right? And why is that? Because a camel goes through the eye of a needle than a man that has riches. Because a camel's not carrying all of that stuff with them. A camel just is going to, walk that straight way. Okay? A man carrying all his stuff with him into the kingdom? No. You got to let it all go. He's not carrying, that camel's not carrying any extra baggage. He's just taking himself. See, the animals, they don't need all this shit that modern day people have. That's why it says, let me see here. Verse 26, "And they were astonished out of measure, saying among themselves, Who then can be saved? Yahushua looking upon them saith, With men it is impossible, but not with the Most High. For with the Most High all things are possible." So there you go. With the Most High, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, anything's possible. But with men, it is impossible. Verse 20, "Then Peter began to say unto him, Lo, we have left all and have followed thee." Verse 20, "And Yahushua answered and said, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that hath left house, or brethren, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or lands for my sake and the gospel's." Verse 30, "But he shall receive 100-fold now in this time houses and brethren, and sisters and mothers, and children, and lands with persecutions. In the world and in the world to come eternal life." So, excuse me, to give up everything in this life and to eventually and ultimately be persecuted for the gospel's sake, we're going to gain everything back and then much more. So, to most people, that would seem hard to lose everything that they work so hard for on this side. But like I said, the things on this side don't matter to the Most High. Okay? What matters is do you have what it takes to give up all of this, your house, your job, your car, your family, your friends, your loved one, your acquaintances, your money. Are you willing to give all of that up for me? Because this society is falling apart. There's no point in trying to build here. That's why it says in Matthew chapter 10, Matthew chapter 10, verse 13. No, sorry, not that one. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, it's Matthew 7 and 13. Sorry. Matthew 7 and 13. "Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat." 14, because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it. Okay, so the majority of these people, they take the broad way. They don't take the narrow path. Okay, because they're lost into this society. They don't want to let this society go. Because when this place becomes nothing but a desolate shell of its former self, people are going to be sad, depressed. They're going to long for those old days. The days where they had all these comforts, had a nice job, had a nice house, had a family, had a retirement, watched their kids grow up and build a life for themselves here. People are going to miss those days of comfort, but this is not the time for comfort. This is the time to, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to shut this place down. He's going to, think about it. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you have no electricity, no running water? The power goes out. What are you going to do when the banks shut down? You can't get your money out of the ATM. Your money's stuck in your account. What are you going to do when the police, the modern day centurions, are not answering the 911? Oh, they're not coming to your aid. What are you going to do when the fire department or the paramedics, they're not coming to your aid? What are you going to do when the hospital shut down? Excuse me. What are you going to do when all of that shuts down? No internet. No Wi-Fi signal. You can't reach your folks. You can't reach your loved ones or your relatives or your friends. You can't call for help. You're on your own. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is... Hold on, let me find that scripture. Excuse me. There it is. Jeremiah 6:16. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein." Okay, the old paths, the old way of doing things. Okay, this society doesn't walk in those old paths, those ways of the ancient. Okay, because the people in this society have comfort. Okay, you could do everything now with your phone. You can order food with your phone. You can order clothes. You could shop on your damn phone instead of just getting up off your ass and going to the establishment to go buy it yourself. You would rather just have it ordered to you. Okay, and that's Esau Edom with his technology. He's made this society so comfortable for people to where, they forget how to do things independently or manually by getting up and moving around and doing things with their hands. Okay? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to beat the laziness out of people. He's going to make people get active, get proactive. Okay? In the ancient days, you had to do everything with your hands. You had to be out in the field working. Working, coming home, doing this, doing that, building things from scratch. But we got all this technology that the tech can do it for us, right? Because they're now trying to replace a lot of construction workers, architects, and all that with AI. But a lot of people are rising up against that because they don't want their jobs to be taken from them. They still want to earn that money for a living. So yeah. And not only that, you got Elon Musk that's getting ready to release these robots to come into your home to cook, clean, do things for you, help raise your kids, teach them and all that. Like, what the hell? A robot to do all that? I can do that myself. So why the hell did I need a damn robot for? Okay? And that AI is part of Esau Edom's blessing, the sword. So seek the old paths, man. And part of the old paths is doing things, manually with your hands, working with your hands, getting uncomfortable, working hard, sweating. But, like I said, we live in a comfortable society. And that's part of the conditioning, because when all hell breaks loose and these people have been living in comfort for so long, they're not going to know what to do or how to react because they lived in comfort and pleasure the majority of their life that as soon as they get a little bit uncomfortable and they're put into a position to where they got to do something, they don't know what to do and they start panicking. They freeze up. Okay? That's also the 2/3 of our own people. Okay? And they don't want to seek out the old paths, the old ways of doing things. How to take care of yourself. That includes with medicine, the herbs. Herbs are medicine for the body. Okay? And cooking from scratch. Okay, instead of buying this shit that's in the store. Or not buying shit, buying these fast foods. The majority of these fast food restaurants, as my grandfather always said, the cancer's in the food. And it is. So that's why you can't be overly righteous. I mean, everything that this devil has got his hands on, everything here is defiled. Doesn't matter what it is that you eat or drink or get your hands on to use for your own benefit. It's all defiled. It's all messed up. Okay? All right, let's see here. See, this is going to be the book of Psalms, chapter 9, verse 9, and it says, "The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble." In verse 10, "And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, for thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee." Okay? So he'll be a refuge for the oppressed. And who are the oppressed? Israel. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled bird, whose father's seed line goes back. We are the oppressed. Okay? Ultimately, the 1/3, Lord willing, that we are a part of. Because in this society, man, we're again, we have, our people have the worst education, the worst living conditions, the worst health. Okay? Living in the slumps, minimal education. And even if we do manage to get a higher level of education, Esau, Edom, he's still going to do whatever he can to, he doesn't like it when Jake starts advancing. He hates it. Especially when he sees Jake doing better than his own people. He hates that. Once Jake starts prospering, it's a problem. But if Jake is still in that dumbed down estate where he's just smart enough to do the work, smart enough to do the physical labor and sign paperwork, hey, cool, keep him that way. Keep him that way. But the moment he starts thinking for himself and he goes above that, it's an issue. And for those that put their faith and trust in the Lord and seek him daily, those are the ones that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to look out for. Because they want to follow those old paths. They want to know the Lord's ways. Okay? That's what we're striving for. Excuse me. We want to seek out the natural way of doing things. Okay? And the natural way to this society is uncomfortable, but it's natural. Okay? These vehicles, a form of comfort. Back in the day, we didn't have all of that. We either had to walk, ride a camel or a horse or a mule. So, you know, no matter how long it took us to get to our destination, but still, we did things naturally. Okay, and it says here, okay, this is going to be verse 11 says, "Sing praises to the Lord, which dwelleth in Zion. Declare among the people his doings." Verse 12, "When he maketh inquisition for blood, he remembereth them, he forgetteth not the cry of the humble." Okay, so the Lord, he dwells with the meek and the lowly, the humble in spirit, but he abhors the prideful in spirit, because the people that are prideful, they think they know it all. They think they know something. They see themselves being above and better than everybody else. Okay? But those that are meek and humble, you know, they understand their place, and they know better not to, you know, they know better not to step outside their boundaries. Verse 13, "Have mercy upon me, O Lord. Consider my trouble which I suffer of them that hate me. Thou that liftest me up from the gates of death." 14, "That I may show forth all my praise in the gates of the daughter of Zion. I will rejoice in thy salvation." Okay, verse 15, "The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made. In the net which they hid is their own foot taken." Okay, verse 16, "The Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands." Okay, the Lord is known by the judgments that which he executeth. Okay, mass shootings, grape, these violent storms, hurricanes, Hurricane Helen, Hurricane Milton, earthquakes, the war, people raiding establishments. You know, if you cannot see that all this evil that's happening in the city, how could you say that the Lord hath not done it? How can you say that the Lord is not doing it in control of all of this? You know, how can you not say that he's not the one that's, you know, Proverbs 21:1, the heart is in the hand, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, man, and he turns it whithersoever he will. Okay, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is spiritually programming these people to do according to his will. Okay, these people are operating spiritually on that level, are being operated by the Most High to do what they're doing now. Okay, you have the illusion of thinking that you have free will, but you really don't have it. You really don't. Okay, that's why, you know, we hope and pray that we were predestinated before everything began. Okay, of the chosen, the elect. Verse 17, Psalms 9:17. "The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget the Most High." 18, "For the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever." Okay, so the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget the power. Okay, which means that the Lord, he's going to bring them down low, to a low estate, to where they're going to be miserable, in a state of complete and utter uncomfortable. In a state of complete and utter uncomfortability. They're going to be uncomfortable, miserable, in dire straits. Okay? And for the needy will not be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish. And what is the expectation of the poor? You know, mercy and salvation. And the patience and the faith of the saints, man, is to put those that put us in captivity, into captivity. The very people that have us in captivity right now, we want them to be in captivity under us. Okay? Everything that they've done to us in wickedness, we will double it in righteousness right back to them. Especially to Esau, Edom, the so-called Caucasians, the so-called white people. Okay? They are public enemy number 1 on the Most High's list. Verse 19, arise, O Lord, let not man prevail, let the heathen be judged in thy sight. Put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. All right? And that's what the Lord is going to do. He's going to make these people realize that you are not gods. You are not anything supernatural. You're all just ordinary people. Okay? I'm the one that puts you in this position, not you yourself. You ain't nobody. All right? Because a lot, especially here in America, these people are the most prideful and the most stupid. They think themselves to be something when really they're not. That's why a great humbling is coming. A great humbling is coming. And Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to humble these people. He is going to scare the living hell out of everybody. And in that day, people are going to be running to their idols, calling out their names and praying, but they're not going to answer. Then some people are going to remember the prophets, the names that they call on. They're going to call they're going to call on the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and watch what happens. Nothing. Then they're going to realize, and when they see people who've been out there in the highways and byways warning the people, when they see that those people are in a good case during that day, you know, they're going to wonder why. And eventually it's going to click. And I'm like, so these are the Lord's people. These are the ones that he was dealing with this whole time. And we've done nothing but treat them like shit, ignore them. And now we have to suffer for it. Trust me. The people that have, you know, mocked and scoffed the Akim, that have been out here on the highways and byways, you know, been trying to debate them on the comment board, on the social media platforms and all that. Once they've realized that everything that the prophets have been saying comes to pass, they're going to feel that regret. And you'll probably have some people that'll recognize you up on the streets that'll probably sincerely apologize. But hell, it's too late. You should have listened when you had the chance. Nothing I can do now. You're on your own. Yeah, people are going to be looking to you for answers, but we're not going to give you no answers. This is Psalms chapter 10, verse 2, and it says, the wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Verse 3, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. All right? And that's what the wicked do on a daily basis. They persecute the poor, okay? And they boasteth of their heart's desire, okay? The wicked in this society, they look down upon the poor. They give the poor people shit. They're centurions. They harass people. They don't know how to just leave people alone. And I can't remember in what state it was, but they're making it a crime to be homeless. And yet, what can the homeless do? What can the homeless do? They have nowhere to go. They have no money. They can't get an apartment. They have no money. They don't have a job to work. So, and a lot of the homeless are military veterans. Military veterans, men and women who fought for this country, and yet they're homeless. We won't even help them. So that right there just goes to show you that America doesn't even care about its honorable soldiers. It doesn't care about its defenders who risked their lives for the country that they believed in, that they love. And not only that, these people are selfish, man. They just keep taking and taking, but never give anything in return. They are just, you know, in this world, man, there's only two types of individuals. There's givers and there's takers. Which one are you? Are you a giver or are you a taker? But at the same token, at the same time, it's okay to be a little selfish, because at the end of the day, you can only do so much for another person. Sometimes you gotta look out for yourself. You gotta look out for yourself first before you can help somebody else. Verse 4, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. Verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. So his ways are always grievous. Yeah, Esau, Edom, his ways are always grievous. Okay? Always. This is his society, this is his world. This is the time when his people get to rule, prosper, and live it up. But for us, we have to suffer. And he doesn't, the Most High is not in all his thoughts, because he doesn't care. He doesn't care about the Most High. He only cares about what he wants. All right? This man only cares about what he wants. All right? And he puffeth at it, and all his enemies, he puffeth at him. He mocks and scoffs his enemies. He thinks he's better than them. This wicked individual thinks that he's above everybody else. Okay, that's just how far his pride goes, man. His pride is so high that him being the base man, he sees himself to be superior to everybody else, and that everybody owes him. Verse 6. It says, he hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. Okay? Esau, Edom thinks he's untouchable. Since he has all the power, all the money, and all the technology, and all the resources, you know, he thinks himself to be, you know, invincible, untouchable, that nobody can do anything. That's where the Most High is laughing at him. Because once again, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai ruleth in the kingdom of men. He's the one that put the base man up in power, which is Esau, Edom. Okay? Esau, Edom is the base man. He is the weakest. He's the most unintelligent. He's the most filthy, the most vile. Okay? As the scriptures say in Romans. Romans 13 and Romans I just wanted to wait until that thing was, that noise was gone. Romans 9, verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Most High according to the election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. Verse 12, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Verse 13, as it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. So there you go. Jacob have I loved. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai loves Israel. Jacob, Israel. Okay, Jacob was surnamed Israel. But Esau have I hated. And that's not just talking about Esau himself, that's talking about him as well as his own nation. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai hates the nation of Esau Edom. He hates the Edomites. Okay? You so-called white people, you so-called Caucasians, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai hates you. And as for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners, whose father's seed line goes back. You that are scattered amongst all these other nations that look like the other nations, if your father's seed line goes back to the nation of Israel, you are an Israelite. And it said again, Jacob have I loved. Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai loves you, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, and you speckled bird that are of his nation. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai only loves Israel. That's why he's punishing us, because we did not learn our lesson. After the many, many times he saved our ass out of dire straits and back in ancient times, all the way up till now, the Lord just had it with our bullshit. So that's why he put us in the lowest of the low, underneath the base man. He's doing this because he loves us. He's doing this to teach us a hard-learned lesson that you just can't do what the hell you want, okay? You're in my house. I have rules. You follow them, I'll reward you. You disobey the rules, I'm gonna fuck you up. Okay, so this is going to be Romans. This is Romans 3:3, and it says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Most High forbid. Yea, let the Most High be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. Verse 5, but if our unrighteousness commend the righteousness of the Most High, what shall we say? Is the Most High unrighteous, who taketh vengeance? I speak as a man. Most High forbid. For then how shall the power judge the world? For if the truth of the Most High hath more abounded through my lie unto his glory, why yet am I also judged as a sinner? Verse 8, and not rather as we be slanderously reported, and as some affirm that we say, let us do evil that good may come, whose damnation is just. What then? Are we better than they? No, in no wise. For we have before proved both Jews and Gentiles that they are all under sin. As is written, there is none righteous, no, not one. Okay? There is none that are righteous. We have all sinned. Okay? We have all made mistakes. In this life and in our past lives. We have all fucked up. And that's why we're here paying for it. Okay? We have all fucked up in some way, shape, or form. So, is the Most High unrighteous for doing this to us? No. So, if anything happens, like I said, if somebody does something wrong and the Most High sees that, like I said before, the Most High is in control of everything. Okay? Some people are just preordained to be set up for judgment, man. That's part of the Most High's, inner workings. And people don't understand judgment because they're emotional. They get all upset and offended and they start crying when a child passes away due to some unfortunate set of circumstances where that child was murdered, kidnapped, ravished. They always be crying saying, he or she was a good kid or a good person. They would never do anything. They always had a good heart. He was good people. Well, apparently, if they were good people, then why did this happen? From the Lord come the issues of death. Okay? There must have been something that person did in one of their past lives to piss Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai off. But that's the thing, man. People don't... So the truth that we preach to the people of this world, it's nonsense. They think we're just blowing smoke out of our ass. They think that we don't know what we're talking about. They're just... they don't know any better. They don't get it. That's why the Lord is going... That's why the Lord is going to show these people. He's going to show them who's in charge the entire time and what it means to be righteous. So, none of us, and I mean absolutely none of us, have the right to say that the Most High is a liar or unrighteous. Okay? We're the ones that are liars and that are unrighteous. We're the ones that do these things to... We're the ones that fucked up. Okay? Romans 3, verse 11. There is none that understandeth. There is none that seeketh after the Most High. Verse 12. They are all gone out of the way. They are together become unprofitable. There is none that doeth good. No, not one. Verse 13. Their throat is an open sepulchre. With their tongues they have used deceit. The poison of asp is under their lips. So lying lips, words of deceit. Verse 14. Whose mouth is full of cursing and bitterness. Okay, harsh words. 15. Their feet are swift to shed blood. Destruction and misery are in their ways. So, these people are just twisted, bloodthirsty. Okay? And that's the society that we live in. We live in a society full of liars, deceitful people, people who are quick to put others to death, premeditated murder. Verse 17, and the way of peace have they not known. Verse 18, there is no fear of the Most High before their eyes. And that's why there is no peace, because these people have no fear. They have no fear. They are fearless. They're bold. Okay? And, being fearless and bold, that comes with pride. That's why Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has to destroy this place. Because these people let's see here. See here. Salaki, bear with me. This is going to be Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 1. It says, but thou, O power, art gracious and true, long-suffering and in mercy, ordering all things. Verse 2, for if we sin, we are thine, knowing thy power, but we will not sin, knowing that we are counted thine. Okay? So, no matter what, whether we sin or we not, we are still accounted as his. We are his people, we are his nation. After all, the law, statutes, and commandments were given unto us, the Israelites. So we are held accountable. Okay? It wasn't given to all nations, it was given to only Israel. Okay? These other nations don't have a part to play in our they don't have a part to play in our they don't have a part to play in the law, statutes, and commandments, is what I'm trying to say. Verse 3, for to know thee is perfect righteousness, yea, to know thy power is the root of immortality. Verse 4, for neither did the mischievous inventions of men deceive us, nor an image spotted with diverse colors, the painted fruitless labor. Verse 5, the sight whereof enticeth fools to lust after it, and so they desire the form of a dead image that hath no breath. Okay? And sadly, 2/3 of our own people, they follow after that false image. They follow after those signs and lying wonders that Esau Edom puts in front of their faces, just to keep them, deceived, to keep them fooled. Okay? To keep them, dumbed down. To keep them from knowing the truth. Because that's just the thing, man. Our 2/3 of our own people, they prefer to follow the world. They want to live in that state of comfortability, okay? They don't want to face true reality, which is that this place is no good. They want to be happy now. They don't want to suffer. As that old saying goes, laugh now, cry later. And that's what's going to happen to the majority of these people, including the 2/3. They're happy right now. They're cool with it right now. But when that time comes, they're going to cry later. They're going to be crying. They're going to be suffering. They're going to be angry. They're going to be in distress. Okay? But for us, see, we're crying right now because we're going through it. We're trying to be have integrity, be upright in conversation, be honest in the sight of a perverse nation. Okay? Knowing that we have to abide by the laws of this land, okay, to stay out of trouble. Knowing that the ways of the wicked are grievous, that we won't be able to keep the whole law 100% in this society. You can only do what you can to the best of your ability. Okay? So, you know, that's why we're crying now, but when that time comes, you know, after all the mocking and scoffing, you know, the oppression and all the bullshit that we're dealing with, you know, we're going to be in the streets, as Elder Apostle Gabar says, we're going to be in the streets dancing when giving all praise to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai when this place has finally collapsed. We're going to be in the streets dancing, singing and dancing. Hey, rightfully so. Because we're tired of this place. You know? This place is just beating us down to the point where we're just, you know, fuck this place. The way that we're living right now is not living. It's just getting by. Survival, right? Verse 6, both they that make them, they that desire them, and they that worship them are lovers of evil things, and are worthy to have such things to trust upon. So, the people that love, trust, and worship, that make these idols, that make them, desire them, and worship them, they're lovers of evil things. Okay? Following after these false images, these idols. Okay? You are lovers of evil things. Okay? And it said again, I'll say it again. And are worthy to have such things to trust upon. So, you are worthy to have those things of the world, man. But hey, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to take those things away from you. Verse 7, it says, for the potter, tempering soft earth, fashioneth every vessel with much labor for our service. Yea, of the same clay he maketh both the vessels that serve for clean uses, and likewise also all such as serve to the contrary. But what is the use of either sort? The potter himself is the judge. Verse 8, and employing his labors lewdly, he maketh a vain god of the same clay, even he which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returneth to the same out of the which he was taken, when his life which was lent him shall be demanded. Okay, so let me go to the book of Romans real quick, and I'll come back to Wisdom of Solomon. I'm gonna start at Romans 9 verse verse 7. Romans 9 and 17, it says, "For the scripture saith unto Pharaoh, even for this same purpose have I raised thee up, that I might show my power in thee, and that my name might be declared throughout all the earth." Okay, so once again, the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he setteth up whomsoever he will. All right? These nations, they're so caught up in their own mind and pride, they think they're the ones that, that were, able to build up, become strong, and conquer other nations and overtake them. No, that's Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai gave you that power to do so. Verse 18, "Therefore hath he mercy on whom he will have mercy, and whom he will he hardeneth." Okay, so Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is the one who will have mercy on whom he will have mercy, and he will hardeneth whomsoever he will. Hardeneth meaning to, harden their heart. Make them stubborn, make them prideful. Okay, make them, wrathful. Okay. Verse 19. Then wilt say then unto me, why doeth he yet find fault? For who hath resisted his will? Verse 20. Nay, but O man, who art thou that repliest against the Most High? Shall the thing formed say to him that formed it, why hast thou made me thus? 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump, to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? So there you go. A vessel unto honor, the Israelites, and a vessel unto dishonor, the wicked. Okay? Jacob is righteous, Esau, Edom is wicked. All right? The other nations, they're just in the midst. Okay? They're wicked too, but the true wicked is Esau, Edom. All right? That's the balance between righteousness and wickedness. Okay? Right now, the majority of these people of this society are following after this devil, following after his ways, his philosophy, his science, his technology. They love it. They think it's amazing. But when it comes to the truth that's coming out of this book from the men out here on the highways and byways, they laugh at us. Okay, verse 22. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endure with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Okay, so Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to use Esau, Edom, as his vessel of wrath, right? Which is fitted to destruction, because once again, this devil is going to come down with that great wrath eventually. But ultimately, his latter end is destruction. Okay? Okay, and I'm gonna go to Romans 9 and 15 real quick. And it says, For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion. Okay? So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai chooses whom is worthy of his mercy and compassion. Okay? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai will choose whom he deems worthy of his mercy and compassion. Okay? It's not of us, it's of him. Okay? If you ever get yourself caught in a situation and you see, instead of going to jail, you dodge that bullet and you get put on probation or on house arrest, that's an act of mercy, because prison would have been judgment. You would have been inside that cage with a bunch of other criminals, and who knows what would happen to you then. That's why, if the Lord cuts you a break, man, if he cuts you a break or gets you out of a situation where you could have on the cusp been in some serious trouble, and if he cuts you a break and gets you out of there, be grateful and don't fuck up again. Be fucking grateful. Because, you know, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, yes, he's long-suffering, but that don't mean you could just tempt him constantly like that. Don't tempt him. Don't give him a reason. Don't push him to that point where, you know, he's just going to say, okay, you know what? Fuck you. I'm done with you. You know? Don't. It's just be thankful and grateful of the Lord's mercy and kindness. Okay? As the scriptures say, he takes no pleasure in putting people to death. It's just that you people give him a reason to do so. The Lord doesn't take pleasure in that. He would rather you live than die. All right, now I'm going to drop down to verse 30, and it says, Romans 3 and 30, or Romans 9 and 30, excuse me. What shall we say then? That the Gentiles, which followed not after the righteousness, have attained righteousness, even the righteousness which is of faith. Verse 31, but Israel, which followed after the law of righteousness, hath not attained the law of righteousness. Verse 32, wherefore, because they sought it, but not by faith, but as it were by the works of the law, for they stumbled at the stumbling stone. Verse 33, as it is written, behold, I lay in Zion a stumbling stone and a rock of offense, and whosoever believeth on him shall not be ashamed. That stumbling stone and rock of offense is Yahushai, because he is a stumbling block to those that don't believe, that don't have faith. Okay? This truth is it's not about trying to, it's by faith, but that doesn't mean that the law is done away with. The law is still here. Obey, as it says in Romans chapter 3, verse 31. And it says, do we then make void the law through faith? Most High forbid. Yea, we establish the law. Okay? We establish the law. We teach our people about the law, statutes, and commandments, and we let them know that we cannot keep the law perfectly in the society because we are under the rule of another nation, the nation of the wicked. So we can only do what we can to the best of our ability to keep the law. Okay? Okay, that's why this is about faith, man. We know that we cannot keep it all right. We know that we can't. But we still have to seek out the old ways, those old paths, to learn the ways of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And that's part of the Lord putting it, that's part of the Lord putting his ways back into our inward parts, as by seeking out the truth, seeking out knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay? That's part of programming those law, statutes, and commandments back into our inward parts. Okay? Coming back into remembrance of who we are, what we used to know. As the scriptures say, I will put you in remembrance, for ye once knew this. You once knew this. And he's putting us back into remembrance by having us study, okay, watch videos of those that have more knowledge, wisdom, and understanding than us. Okay? Our teachers, the elder apostles, and the men under them. Okay? We see our teachers, man. Okay, so this is going to be Romans 4 and 13. For the promise that he should be the heir of the world was not to Abraham or to his seed through the law, but through the righteousness of faith. Okay? So it's not the law, it's by faith. Verse 14, for if they which are of the law be heirs, faith is made void, and the promises made of none effect. Because the law worketh wrath, for where no law is, there is no transgression. Verse 16, therefore it is of faith, that it might be by grace, to the end the promise might be sure to all the seed, not to that only which is of the law, but also to that which is of faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. Okay? So once again, this is by having faith and following Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. The law is just part of that. It's by faith. Yeah, you could be an individual who keeps the law, especially in this society. If we were all under the law back, like we were, the law of Moses, like those Old Testament only Israelites, if you're trying to live by the ways of being under the law, all I gotta say is good luck, because if we were still under that, we would all be dead right now. Really, we would be. That's why the Lord is giving us this. That's why we're in this grace period. The Lord is giving us this time to get better. He knows that we're gonna slip and fuck up every now and then. That's why he's giving us this grace period to correct ourselves and to not make the same mistakes again, to do better and get better daily, okay? That's why we have this while we still have time, okay? This is rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, verse 17, as it is written, I have made thee a father of many nations, before him whom he believed, even the Most High, who quickeneth the dead, and calleth those things which be not as though they were. Verse 18, who against hope believed in hope, that he might become the father of many nations, according to that which was spoken, so shall thy seed be. And being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead, when he was about 100 years old, neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. He staggered not at the promise of the Most High through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to the Most High, and being fully persuaded that what he had promised was able also to perform, and therefore it was imputed to him for righteousness. So, Abraham, no matter how old he was, he kept the faith. He kept performing the works of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai's will. Okay? He kept the faith all the way to the very end. And that's how we have to be. Keep the faith till the end. Endure to the end, and the same shall be saved. Okay? If we are of Abraham's seed, we can do it. If he did it, then why can't we? All right. Verse back to Wisdom of Solomon, the 15th chapter. Starting at verse 9, it says, notwithstanding, I left off at verse 8, and it says, in employing his labors lewdly, he maketh a vain God. Of the same clay, even he, which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returned to the same out of which he was taken. When his life, which was lent him, shall be demanded. Verse 9, notwithstanding his care. So basically, Excuse me. So the same man that was made from that same clay maketh a vain God. Okay? And as it says, even he which a little before was made of earth himself, and within a little while after returned to the same out of which he was taken, when his life was lent him, he shall be demanded. So, made from the elements of the earth, and then, he made a vain God from those same elements, which he himself was made of. And then eventually, his life was lent to him, and the same shall also be demanded. Excuse me. Sorry about that, excuse me. Allergies. Itchy nose. So yeah, that's why this whole thing about false idols and images, they mean nothing. Made by the hands of man, when man himself was made from the same elements of the earth. Okay? Just like his idols, they were made, and just like them, they will fall. Okay? Verse 9, notwithstanding his care is not that he shall have much labor, nor that his life is short, but striveth to excel goldsmiths and silversmiths, and devoureth to do like the workers in brass, and counteth it his glory to make counterfeit things. Verse 10, his heart is ashes, his hope is more vile than earth, and his life of less value than clay. Verse 11, for as much as he knew not his maker, and him that inspired into him an active soul, and breathed in a living spirit, but they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain. For say they, we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. So who is this ultimately talking about? It's talking about Esau Edom. Okay? He is that prideful man that was made from the elements of the earth, and that he's made everything, and that he's made a vain God from those same elements from which he himself was made. Okay, he tries to excel goldsmiths, silversmiths. He tries to excel everything just to make his own counterfeit things. Okay? He thinks that he could do it better than everybody else. Okay? And he's showing that through his lies and his signs and his deceit, his lies and his lying wonders. Okay? His technology, his military might. Okay? Through AI, Esau Edom thinks that he could do it better than everybody else. Okay? And he's used us for gain. He's used the Israelites for gain. He's made all this profit off of the blood, sweat, and tears of our labor. Anything that we do, he gets the credit for, but we get nothing. Okay? That's how you know Esau Edom is a liar. He's a thief. And this man claims himself to be superior to everybody else. Okay? Everybody will look to him before they look at us. And yet they've been doing this dealings with this devil for years, not knowing that he don't give a fuck about them. All he cares about is himself. Verse 13, for this man that of earthly matter maketh brickle vessels, and graven images, knoweth himself to offend above all others. And all the enemies of thy people that hold them in subjection are most foolish, and are more miserable than very babes. For they counter all the idols of the heathen to be gods, which neither have the use of eyes to see, nor noses to draw breath, nor ears to hear, nor fingers of hands to handle. And as for their feet, they are slow to go. Verse 16, for man made them, and he that borrowed his own spirit fashioned them. But no man can make a God like unto himself. Okay? So, once again, these false idols, these, anything made by the hands of man that's been put in a position of worship, right? These are the people that are deserving of these evil things, lovers of evil things, man. That's Esau, Edom, and these other nations, as well as the 2/3 of our own people. And not only that, but again, another example of a false idol is these celebrities. Okay? A lot of people look up to these celebrities, follow them and worship them like there's something. Okay? You have to understand, man, the ways of man and man himself is no way. It's all just, it's vain. Okay? Nobody can make a God like unto himself. No man in this society can do that. Verse 17, for being mortal, he worketh a dead thing and with wicked hands. For he himself is better than the things which he worshipeth. Whereas he lived once, but they never. So, man is better than the idols that he maketh with his hands, because he's living, but they don't. They're not living. It can't see, it can't breathe, it can't do anything. But he can do something. See how the anti-logic of these people is? Ass backwards, man. Ass backwards. Verse 18, yea, they worship those beasts also that are most hateful, for being compared together some are worse than others. Verse 19, neither are they beautiful so much as to be desired in respect of beast, but they went without the praise of the Most High and his blessing. And that's another thing that people use for idols in worship. Animals. And we're supposed to be the ones that have dominion over the animals. Yet they'll worship an animal as if like they're a god or they're superior. No. Okay? You see how this whole thing with, this whole thing with idolatry and adultery is, man? Especially idolatry. Just following after these worldly philosophies, man, just how it could fuck you up and get you fucked up. That's why Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to make it known who is the true God. He's going to destroy all these idols that you praise and worship, and he's going to show you who is the God that you should have been paying attention to the whole time. The God that you should have been paying attention to the whole time is Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. That's who you should have been praising. That's who you should have been worshiping. That's who you should have been going to for answers. All right? So with that, I hope that this was an edifying lesson unto the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. So, once again, man, the things of this world, it's all gonna be gone. Seek out the old ways, the natural ways. Okay? This life of comfort is coming to an end, and fast. We don't know what's gonna happen by the end of this year, but rest assured that the year 2025 is gonna be interesting. And Lord willing, that we'll be out of here by next year. But it's the process of gradualism. So Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to squeeze every bit that he can out of this place until the end come. And with that, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh B'Hashem, Yahushai, B'Hashem, Rachak, Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath of Davadah, the elect house of David, that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala, Wa Abad Babal, Shalawam, Barakatam.